Hi everyone, I'm Zoya Hassan, an under 30 reporter at Forbes. We're here backstage at the Under 30 Summit in Cleveland. I'm with Jake Karls. He's an under 30 lister and co-founder and chief rainmaker of Midday Squares. Thank you for being here, Jake.
Fired up, super energized. Thanks for having me, and it's good to be in Cleveland.
Yeah. And okay, so Jake, tell me, you have this healthy chocolate brand. Can you tell me a little bit about how you got the idea for the company?
Yeah, so I got to give credit to my sister, Leslie Karls. She's a rock star, and years ago, like 3 years before I even launched Midday Squares, she was creating this bar for her husband, my brother-in-law, who's also our business partner. And it was because he loved dark chocolate and wanted something that was indulgence, but also healthy. And he would eat the high sugar, palm oil chocolate. And she's like, I can make you something healthier. I can make something cleaner that's your 2 p.m. snack, and it carries you right over to your afternoon. And she did it for 3 years, made it in her kitchen as a hobby snack for him to take to work every single day. They loved it. And then in August of 2018, they approached me and they're like, hey, we've got this amazing chocolate bar. It's got product market fit. People love it. We're about to launch it. We need you to come on board and blow it up, build the noise. And the first thing I said to them was, if you look at the food and beverage world, it's a very saturated place. There's 40,000 products in a grocery store. And I said, you can't just win on good product, but what we could win on is if we tell an amazing story that resonates and is an emotional connection to the consumer. So we launched the company, and the idea was we launched the first functional chocolate bar. Chocolate bar meets protein bar, keeps you full for 2 to 3 hours, and it's just good vibes.
Yeah, and like you said, it's a saturated industry. Ooh. So what was it like trying to raise capital in this very competitive market with all these big name chocolate brands out there?
Oh yeah, chocolate is dominated by like 10 brands. They own about 80% of the entire space. But something to know about chocolate, it's $140 billion annually in terms of snacking, and that's huge. Even though it's saturated, that's a market where it's worth entering because it's already proven out. It's not necessarily fully matured, it's proven out. For us, when we raised money, the strategy we took was simple: build out loud. So when you build out loud, you share your story, the good, the bad, the ugly. So us being very transparent on social media, showing everything from wins to failures to adversities to legal battles to everything you never see in a company, gives an investor an inside view on the company before you even have to talk to them. So when we went out to raise money in our first year of business, I think our first raise was about 2.5 million. We went out and people already knew who we were. They're like, these crazy wild 3 people are creating a chocolate brand, have no idea what they're doing, but they're loud, they're wild, and they're fun, and they're real, they're authentic. And that got us in the door. That put our first foot in. And when you have that ability, it's no longer a cold introduction. It's a warm introduction. Okay. And that's what we raised, I think, to date, about 17.5 million USD.
And you talk a lot about social media. Obviously, it's a huge part of your business. It's kind of what brought Midday Squares out there. So what's your secret to going viral?
Very simple. Be authentic and share a story that people care about. For us, 5% to 10% of the time we talk about the Midday Square chocolate bar, like I said, the functions, the benefits, the features, which most people in food talk about 95% of the time. The other 85 to 90% of the time, what we talk about is simply the story of how we build the business. So we show you the good, the bad, the ugly in the most unfiltered, raw experience. And what that does is it makes consumers feel like they're part of our journey. So when they're watching us on social media and they go to the store to buy our product, they feel like they're buying from a friend, a family, or a neighbor. And when you're doing that, it's emotional. It's an emotional connection. And when you have that, they become more of a fan rather than a customer. So our secret's not that we have any more skill of editing or anything like that. We do have good editors and a good media team internally, unbelievable actually. Yeah. But it's that we tell a story that's real. And authenticity in a world full of inauthenticity is the only way to actually step out or make noise.
And you do all your social media in-house. You don't have you don't use influencer marketing or anything like that?
So I think we've driven, over 50 million views last year from organic content creation. So that's our internal team creating the content for our TikTok, our Instagram, our LinkedIn, some Facebook even, or Meta, whatever. But we still we still work with influencers or partners that we have that we believe embody our business, embody the core values, and actually enjoy our product. So I think the idea is we're not a full performance team. We're a social media company that has also a performance arm, not the other way around.
Okay. And you also run your own manufacturing facility.
Yes, that is the most difficult part of the whole business. So in food, typically, or beverage, a lot of people co-manufacture their product because when you start a business, it's very hard. You're making these in your kitchen, you're making them in your home. How do you go and scale it to making millions of chocolate bars a year? And when we went out, we went to 26 different co-manufacturers across North America. Not one was able to make the Midday Square the way we want it. They wanted to change it, make it the same as everybody else. And my sister, being bold as she is, she said to my partners, we are going to build our own manufacturing plant. And I looked at her and I said, dead in the eye, I said, how much is that going to cost? And she said, I don't know, 3 to 4 million. And I said, hello, we don't have that money. And that's where storytelling came into getting that capital and secured. We got it from the government in terms of debt, but we went out and built our full facility. And today, we're proud to say from August 2018, we were making 80 bars per day. Today, we're making up to 90,000 bars per day, and it's 97% automated, custom.
Wow, okay, so you built this manufacturing facility like ground up.
Yes, she ground up, and I got to give credit to my sister because she took the lead on that. But what's unique about manufacturing is you get a higher margin. So when you choose to manufacture yourself, you have the ability to control your margin. And in business, margin is an extremely important thing. So we control margin, we control our quality, we control our safety, obviously. And I think that that's taken us about 5 years to actually see. But now we're finally seeing the real results come from that, the outcomes that, were the big risk.
And so you sell these directly to customer, but you also are on retail shelves, right?
Yes. So 30% of our business is direct to consumer, so on our website, www.middaysquares.com. But 70% of our business is at amazing retail partners like Whole Foods, Target. We have Sprouts, we have places all over Canada, and we're going to just keep expanding. I think to date we're in about 8,000 retail stores across North America, and we plan on hopefully going into at scale about 60,000.
And how do you make Midday Squares stand out on these retail shelves? Because there's a lot of chocolate on there.
So there's three strategies we use. Number one is you need a real relationship with the buying team and the managers on the ground at store level. If you don't build relationships and make friends with people, you have nothing, because people that are friends with people want to help each other. So that's number one. Number two is tell a story that's out there on social media. And why I say that is because when we get a story that goes viral, 10, 20 million views, think about it. They can go buy your product at their local store and they know the brand already by seeing it on their social media. So they might either fall in love with it or hate us, but at least they know us, and then they can see on the shelf. And the third thing that I think is probably the most physical demanding aspect is merchandising. If you don't have the proper merchandising where your products are, you're in trouble. Because if I just tell you we're in the refrigerated section, a chocolate bar in the refrigerator, you never think twice about going there. It's because we're fresh, we use clean ingredients. But we have to guide the consumer on finding that. And the only way to do it is to hopefully get the merchandise where we get the visibility. But to get visibility in a refrigerator, it's limited space. So we work really hard to have merchandisers go into stores, again, build those relationships with the managers, show them data to say that we deserve to have more space and more height in the store. And that actually helps tremendously in terms of standing out and actually succeeding. And I'm proud to say over the last, I think 12 weeks, Midday Squares has been, our peanut butter flavor has been one of the top selling products in our category in North America.
Oh, wow, amazing. And you've obviously built this huge company. You've more than 200,000 followers on TikTok. But tell me, would you ever consider selling your company? What would it take?
That's a great question. So a lot of people come into food and beverage to sell their company.
Yeah.
We started to challenge the chocolate industry. We wanted to be the disruptor and be the new age, let's call it a new age Hershey's or a Mars, but in the better for you functional, chocolate space. As we've been going through this journey, it's very painful. And I always tell people that aren't entrepreneurs that the journey is not so glamorous. It's day in, day out pain. There's a lot of pain and loneliness, and you become exhausted. I'm 30 years old. I just turned 30, and I feel like I'm 50 almost, because I feel like the pain we've gone through has been so hard and so much time and so much energy that it's like, okay, well, how much energy do I have left in the tank to build this business? But right now, we have another at least 5 years that we believe we can get this business to, over $300-400 million, and then we could potentially see what's next. But for now, we're still motivated, we're still inspired, we still love what we get to do every single day, and the moment that changes is the moment that I think that we have to shift out of this business. My big question is can anyone challenge the big chocolate companies? And that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah. And what's your favorite flavor?
So I'm going to tell you a secret right now. No, not too many people know this. It's going to go on camera. I'm actually allergic to my products.
Oh.
I am anaphylactic to peanuts and nuts. So I've only tried our first flavor, which was the brownie batter, and it's delicious, don't get me wrong. But I've never tried our best-selling products that are the cookie dough and the peanut butter, and it kind of makes me sad because I can't be part of an R&D. So I'm selling a product, and I don't even necessarily know what it tastes. So I have to trust you to tell me what it tastes like so I can understand, and I try to go through the sensories of understanding that, but it's been very hard on me as an entrepreneur not to be able to be part of the creation of my product.
Would you ever consider your peanut butter flavor, making that in a way that's
Nut free? The dream is to create a nut-free facility, but when you build in food, you need to actually have another facility, a separate one, which is tens of millions of dollars to go build, and we're just not at that stage yet. But that would be my dream, and then I would take that project on forever if I could, because a lot of people are allergic to nuts and peanuts, and they don't get to have the products or the benefits that nuts and peanuts typically have for actual products.
Yeah. And Jake, what is your advice to the other under 30s who are trying to get to a place like where you are today?
So I'm no expert, but what I could tell you this, what I learned over the decade of entrepreneurship, I started my entrepreneurship at 20 years old, is the moment you are unapologetically yourself every day is the moment you start to win. When you try to be somebody else or you try to compare yourself to other people is the moment you get off your game. When you stop playing your game and you enter another game, and that game is not your best game. So if I could tell them one thing, it's to simply just be yourself every day. Make decisions that you trust, that you really believe in, because those will take you a lot further. No one can be you. They can copy my product. They can't copy me.
Yeah, totally. And Jake, I have to ask, what is a chief rainmaker?
Ooh, the best question of the day. So rainmakers they're dominant in the banking and legal world because what they do is they're not lawyers, they're not bankers. They focus on bringing business to the firm. So I tried to be the CMO of the company. You know, when you start a company, you're a founder, you want to have management. So I tried. I failed so bad. I was a horrible manager, a horrible leader. But what I was really good at was building relationships with people. And as that developed, I started to realize that I was rainmaking day in, day out, building relationships with investors, media, new team members, retailers. And I realized that that's what I do 24/7 is make friends. So if I turn that into a real job, then that's what the rainmaker does. So my job is to travel the world, get out, make noise, and make friends.
Amazing. Well, thank you again, Jake, for being here today.
Thank you for interviewing.